Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. My name is Lily and I hope you all find yourselves well today. I have been doing a lot of collaging lately. I find it relaxing and I really don't put much thought into it. I just grab and glue, and I know I've been using that term a lot lately, but it really is true. I just grab and glue. And one of the reasons I've been doing a lot of collage is I want to use up all the little bits and pieces that I have in this scrap lid. And I've shown you this lid in the past, so I want to use this up. I also want to use up some of the papers that I have coffee dyed. I may have a few that I've avocado dyed as well, things like this. And then, and just use some old papers that I have, old book page and old music pages, but mainly this right here. So I don't want this to grow any more than what it is right now. So the other day I went ahead and I made these tags, and I used a cereal box. So I had made these, well, I covered the packaging with book page and then just started grabbing bits and pieces and gluing them down. And that is what I am going to do again today. So I just wanted to show you what it is that I've done with packaging and just little scraps and pieces, and of course some digitals that I used here, and then some stamping. So what if we work on some of these today, okay? Or right now. Let's see. I have already set aside some packaging, and let me show you what I plan on using to collage. Now, I've been experimenting with inks and dyes and things, and so this right here, this is just an experiment. I was trying out a new technique to dye paper, but I do plan on covering this with coffee dyed paper or avocado dyed paper, because this obviously didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but I was just giving this technique a try. Okay, so I took some packaging, so it's basically just a box, and I'm just going to go ahead and cover it with some of the papers that I have here. I did test it out to make sure that the glue would adhere to this, because it does have a slight slick surface, but it is going to stick. I tried it on another piece, so we should be okay to go. I do like the cereal box because it has a very, it's not as shiny as this is, or as slick. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, because I have other packaging that I have saved. So for example, I have this packaging right here, and I could easily take this and collage it, but I have other plans for this. I'm actually planning on using this as a journal cover, so I'm going to save this for another day, okay? So right now, I just want to cover this and collage it, and the reason is because I need to make some tags. And as I'm trying to build up my stash, there are several journals that I've kind of already started working on. But I actually took a few steps back and started working on ephemera first, because it's really the most time consuming. It's the most fun actually, but it does take a lot of time to create your ephemera. And so I just thought, if I build my stash of ephemera and then work on my journals and the page selection, I want to work on what's most fun first. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Okay. So let's just grab and glue, and let's just cover it up, and then I'll cut these down to tag size. I really like working with this size right here, and I've mentioned before how I'm not a fan of large tags. This to me is a perfect size. If I have to make them a little bit bigger, for example, to fit into a larger pocket, then I will do something like this, which is, again, the same thing. This is from Cereal Box, collaged it the exact same way. I've been collaging lately, and I think I shared, a few days ago, I shared how I upcycle junk mail envelopes. And then I've also done other items that I've just collaged, same manner, just like this, put little bits and pieces down and then embellish it. Again, with cereal box, and then I backed it with coffee dyed paper. So if I need to make them a little bit bigger, I will. I needed this size for some larger pockets. So these are about 4 by 4, but this is my favorite size right here. So these are about 2 3/4 wide and about 4 1/4 long. So this is a good size. I may make some a little bit longer. So let's just start grabbing and gluing, okay? All right, I did some, my voice is a little bit hoarse. I think I just spoke. I've been talking all day today. Lots of talking, lots of conversations with my family about current events, making sure that we're all on the same page, and just bringing awareness with everything that is going on. And so we're all for change and for positive change, especially for equal rights and racial justice. So lots of conversations, and I think I just lost my voice. Lost my voice completely. And I just had a cough drop. I've had a little bit of water, but yeah, really hoarse. Lots of talking, lots of conversations, good conversations. Okay, so just grab and glue, and in no particular order whatsoever. I just want to stick things down. I'll start with the book pages, and I'm even okay if it goes in different directions. I think I'm going to do that. Let me use my book over here for gluing. This is that old book. An old book that I found in the garage that has just been through the elements and is really brittle, super brittle. And it was going to go in the garbage, but I saved it. I thought, oh well, it is really brittle, it is really old, but I think I can make it work in some of my projects. I love the aging that it has. It's so nice. I'll show you the cover in just a moment so you can see what I'm talking about. I think this book dates back to 1898, and it is a book about that time period, all kinds of different things. Let's see. So just grab and glue. Let's not put too much thought into this. Oh, I also spent a good part of my day gardening. I got some extra tomato plants and planted those. Then I went to I am really avoiding going anywhere if I don't have to go. And if I do go somewhere, I try to do it all in the same day. So I was at the post office. So I was at the post office today because I mailed out the journal to the 100 subscriber giveaway journal. I went to the post office and put that in the mail. And then I also went to go run a few other errands. And then I went to Lowe's. I'm really happy to see that a lot of people are wearing masks. So otherwise the states are going to have to, scale back. And they've lifted a lot of the restrictions here, but if we're not careful, we're going to end up going backwards. So I'm really happy to see a lot of people wearing masks. So I went to Lowe's. I'm going off on a tangent. I went to Lowe's and because I needed some things for the garden. And so we got some of the tomato support cages. Now, I've mentioned this before. I am so new to gardening. I really don't know what I'm doing. I've done a little bit of research. My parents are actually guiding me, telling me, kind of giving me some tips. So it's basically their garden. I'm just helping them out. And so I went and got some things for the garden that we needed. And it was really warm today. The weather has been on and off. On and off. We had over the weekend. By the way, today is Wednesday. And so so I filmed this a little bit in advance before sharing it, but over the weekend we had thunder showers. It was crazy, windstorms, and it was really cold. But today was actually really nice. It was in the high 70s. It was a beautiful day. But if you're out gardening and, you know, building a sweat, then it's going to be super hot. And it was super hot. Well, at least for me, because, you know, I've recently discovered that gardening is a physical activity and gets your heartbeat racing. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. My mother went out and cut some of the cilantro that's been growing, and she made some lentil soup and added the cilantro. And that was pretty exciting to be able to go into your backyard and grab some of the foods or what you're growing from the garden. I thought that was pretty awesome. So that was, and the lentils, by the way, were so good. So good. What else was I going to say? What was I saying? About going out? About not going out, not going anywhere? Yeah, I'm taking the quarantine and this pandemic very seriously. And so I hope everyone else is too, because, you know, we want to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. So I hope everyone is also taking good care and hope you're doing what you need to do to stay healthy, stay safe. Okay. Let's see. So I might go off the edges just a little bit, but I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to end up trimming around anyway. So I love using the packaging for tags, because it's not too heavy where it's going to create too much bulk for your projects. And so I really like that. Let's see. So this is going to go in different directions. I'm okay with that. You know, sometimes when I'm doing the collaging and I stand back and look at this, it looks kind of crazy, and sometimes I'm thinking, okay, this doesn't make sense. The colors are all wrong. But for some reason, in the end, it all makes sense, and it turns out looking really nice, especially after the embellishments are added, whether it's stickers or die cuts or digital images. It looks it looks really nice. So I'm really happy with this process. This is not my idea. I have been inspired by so many different people when it comes to collage. I remember collaging when I was younger. We would do it a lot in art class. My granddaughters have done it in art class, where you just kind of pick apart a magazine and create like a vision board and just collage. So that's the collage that I was familiar with. And so it wasn't until I started getting into the junk journaling that I started doing this type of collage. There's also Franken Paper. Franken Paper is very similar to this. And let me move that out of the way. These pages are falling apart. Franken Paper. Nick the Booksmith does Franken Paper. A few other people. A lot of people do the Franken Paper. And also Gail Agostinelli. She does a lot of collage like this. Also, Roxy Creations does a lot of this collage as well. Eva at the Bohemian Crafting, she also does Franken Paper. So lots of great makers that do some fabulous work. And so it's nice to draw inspiration from so many different people. And then you start developing your own style, or how you like things, to look. Using different papers, whatever you have. Okay, so that is looking really good. Thought I had some other things over here. I thought I had some little pink papers. I want to put some pink in here. So I use these papers, I end up with more scraps, and then I have to use those scraps for other projects, and it's just a cycle. But it keeps me busy, and I like it. I've had some people that I know tell me that there are too many hours in the day and that they are bored. And I have no idea what they're talking about. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine too many hours in the day, because I'm always the first to say that there aren't enough hours in the day. I've got lots of paper and not enough time. I like to say that because it's true. I have so much paper. So much paper. Most of it found. Most of it has been found. Found paper. In the basement, in the garage. Some of it has been gifted to me by my sister. I've also picked up paper at the thrift store. So, yeah, lots of paper and not enough time. That's all I have to say about that. So there's, I seldom become bored. I can't remember the last time I've been bored. Maybe when no, I don't think I've ever said I'm bored. There's just so many things to do. So many things. And I'm not just talking about paper projects, but like I just picked up gardening all of a sudden, things like that. And that is busy work, especially in the mornings. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what I did yesterday. So I told my dad I would help him mow the lawn. And so there's an area in the backyard that is somewhat steep. And so I told him I would help him work on that side of the lawn that's kind of steep. Well, I started mowing the lawn, and the little cable, there's a cable that controls the machine, the lawnmower, so it moves forward. It's a self-propelled lawnmower, and so you really, all you have to do is guide it, and it kind of just, you know, does its thing. Well, the lever for the self-propelling part broke as I was using the lawnmower. So here I am going up this incline in the backyard, and the self-propelling motor or lever goes out. So guess what I had to do? I had to push the lawnmower up the incline, up the little hill, to cut the grass. And since I had already started, I had to finish. I was so sore, you guys. I was so sore at the end of that. Now, granted, my dad did do most of the yard. He did. I only came in at the very end when he had to do the that hill area. I'm like, I could tackle that area. I'll take care of it for you, Dad. Don't worry about it. And yeah, the thing went out. Oh my gosh. But I finished it. I finished that part of the lawn. So those are things that I honestly didn't do before. Now, I've had a few houses, and most of them were new construction, and so we had to put in our lawn, and so that was, you know, that was a lot of work. I did it for 2 houses. 2 of them didn't have any landscaping, so we had to, didn't come with landscaping, and so we had to add that in. So I'm familiar with landscaping, but I wasn't the one mowing. You know, I didn't really have an interest in gardening, so I didn't really work on the yard all that much. But look at me now. Look at me now, you guys. Growing tomatoes. Mowing uphill. Yeah, that's me now. That's me. And for some reason, I was talking to my best friend the other day. For some reason, once I turned 50, every single bone in my body is achy. And it takes me days to recover. All of a sudden. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to stick things. That's not going to go anywhere. That is stuck. I'm actually, okay, I'm not going to use these little pieces. I was hoping to find more color in here. My hands are sticky. I don't have anything to clean my hands with. Let me see. What if we... I'm going to add some of these things. Some of these stamped images. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Whoa. Sticky. Whoa. I'm going to switch that page out right now. These are the stamps. I also, so once they get really sticky, I just fold it in half and then set it aside, and I make other things with that. So these stamped images are from offcuts and scrap pieces of paper. And I've just stamped Some of them I ran through the Xyron machine to make little stickers. I found the Xyron machine. I think I got it for $1 at the thrift store, you guys. I love thrifting. I love it. I love it. It is my favorite thing to do. I love the thrill of the hunt. Let me know if you like thrifting too. Since I've been here at my parents', a lot of the craft supplies that I have, I obtained at the thrift store. Everything from the scissors, a lot of the decorative edge scissors I picked up at the thrift store. I bought a bag of punches at the thrift store. About 10 different punches for about $1. I've picked up ledger paper there, index cards, file folders, things that I know I'm going to put to use. What else? What else? So if you need supplies, the best thing to do is go to your thrift store, your secondhand store, and pick up some goodies. Buttons. I got some embroidery floss there from an embroidery kit. Let's see, other things. Though I will say, the bulk of the things that I have found here in the house, including my parents' junk drawer. But you know, this is not something new. I have been doing this my entire life. I remember in high school making things out of cereal boxes, picture frames, just random things. I've always liked playing with paper and making things. I'd make cards, I'd make photo albums, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I'm getting close to running out of time, but so I may have to follow up with another video where we take the collaged packaging and then cut it down to make some tags. So there may have to be a continuation, and I know, but remember, I get cut off at 33 at 33 minutes. So so I think that's what I'll do. This will be like an ongoing project. We can do that. This is a really good way to salvage your scraps. If you've got little bits and pieces of paper that you've cut up, just stamp on the little bits and pieces of paper that you have, and then you can use it for collage or scrapbooking or card making. I enjoy all of those things, all of them. Okay, so I am going to leave it at that. So here it is. So I'll cover this with coffee dyed paper, but look at that, just grab and glue. And I think that once this completely dries, then I'll be able to cut it down and we'll make some tags. So I am going to call this done for right now, and then we'll catch you next time where we start creating some nice tags with this collage sheet. So save those cereal boxes, you guys. Save that packaging. Let's get to collaging. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you later. I appreciate you. Be well. Take